Yeah, sure. Hudson, it seems like every week or every game keep play a little bit more, catch more passes and stuff. I mean, how do you feel like you've progressed this season so far?
At the start of the season, when we faced Georgia, I think going into it, I had some pretty good confidence. But I think as each game has gone on, I think my confidence level has gone up a lot, and that's something that really I think plays into, a lot of players' minds whenever they go out and play. Is how big is your confidence? And I think mine has grown every single game. With helping my teammates, like Felipe throwing me the ball in practice and all like the line blocking with me. I think just all together, I think we just have started clicking, and it's kind of built confidence in me and helped Felipe build confidence in me and helped me build confidence in Felipe. And so it's just kind of been going.
Hey, Hudson, kind of following up on that. Sam Pittman said the other day that, the Aggies gave you some pretty good shots, but you just got right back up, threw the ball to the ref, lined back up. He said maybe at the start of the year you couldn't have done that, but you've matured. How would you say you've progressed in what Sam was talking about?
I think I had my, welcome to college football hit against Georgia. I kind of, got laid out, and it didn't really feel too good, and I wasn't really expecting it. But I think as we've been practicing and as we've kept playing, man, I think I've just gotten just a lot more tough. That's something that Coach Pittman just teaches us every single day in practice. And honestly, man, like just going out there and playing games just over and over and over, like you just build that toughness inside of you. And so you're able to get back up more and more and more easier.
You remember who that was that gave you the Georgia player that you're talking about?
I think it was number 2. I think the one that just got in the motorcycle accident.
Okay, okay, thanks. Okay.
We'll come back.
I think you said Curtis. Hey, Hudson, just to follow up on that toughness a little bit, would you say that that's more of a coming along physically and just getting used to taking those hits, or how much of that is actually just kind of adjusting mentally and developing a mindset for it?
I think it's both. Growing up, I've said this before, my dad, always instilled toughness inside me and my brothers. And so, coming up here, it's definitely taken some time to kind of, build that next level of toughness. But I think the mental part plays into it, and also just taking the hits and just getting used to it kind of plays into it. And I think just with practice and just playing, kind of how we practice. I mean, our practices are harder than games, which is something that you want, because then the games are fun and you're able to go out there and just lay people out. And so I think it's just both. That, there's a mental aspect and there's also just getting used to it.
Otis.
Yeah, Hudson, I know you're your own guy. We talked about that during recruiting and Hunter, everything, but does he get to watch you play, and how much does he give you advice and critique you and maybe give you little tips and stuff on how to do things better and stuff? I mean, how much does Hunter help you during the season and stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I try to FaceTime him at least once, like once every 2 weeks or once a week. Just to kind of catch up, see how, kind of see how he's doing. And then, towards the end of our calls, we'll kind of, talk game, and, I'll kind of tell him like, I'm having trouble with this route right here. Like, what can I do to kind of, shake off this defender, or get open more in space. And, he tells me, like, oh, like it's all about head movements, or, like it's this or that. And so, I mean, we kind of have that kind of communication. And so that's really helpful. And it's really nice to have a brother who plays in the NFL and has had that experience.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, Hudson, speaking of Hunter, he obviously had a great career up here. You were a really good player in high school, just like he was. I don't know if this was fair, but I think maybe there were some people who thought, well, Hunter's brother, he'll come in here and he'll just, catch 25 passes like as a freshman or whatever Hunter did. Did you feel any extra pressure? Kind of what were your expectations last year, and was a transition to, a little tougher than maybe you thought?
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure. I mean, I think there was some pressure coming in. I mean, if I'm being honest. I mean, coming in here, I mean, your brother is an All-American tight end who won the Mackey Award. I mean, who wouldn't feel pressure? I mean, if you don't, I don't think you're human. And so, coming in here last year, I just wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready to play. And I was fine with that. I think redshirting was really good for me, and it kind of gave me some experience and allowed me to gain confidence. Like I said earlier, it's allowed me to gain confidence going into this year. And that's something that has really helped me, in like the last, couple of games, is that, man, I've built, confidence. And I think last year I was just, I just really struggled with that.
Hudson, as far as Blake Kern, how well do you feel you all complement each other?
Say that one more time.
You and Blake Kern, as far as the roles you all play, as far as helping each other out and kind of complimenting each other on what you all do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Blake Kern has been playing really well. I can practice. I'm getting the 1 reps. He's getting the 2 reps. We'll kind of switch that off and on. And it's been really nice to have him in games because, I mean, he's really developed well as a player too. I mean, he caught his first ball this year in his whole career, and I was really excited for him. And I thought he's about to take one to the house in the Georgia game where they, called him out of bounds or they called a flag or whatever it was. And so, I think we complement. I think we complement each other really well. I think we're both really good route runners, and we're both really good blockers. And I think we're able to kind of switch that out. And whenever he goes in, he can do a good job. Whenever I go in, I can do a good job. And I think it really helps. With that balance of, like when I get tired or, if coach wants, Blake Kern in, then, he can send him in.
Yeah, Hudson, how do you feel like you've developed as a blocker in that aspect of the game? And I mean, is that something that has maybe a little bit more challenging than just the catching passes part of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think blocking is definitely one of the tougher parts of the game. I mean, being able to, like manhandle a guy and, take him where you want to go, I mean, like requires a lot of, thought and like technique and just, like physicality. But I think this year with Coach Pittman and what he brings and the people that he's brought in, like Coach Cooper and Coach Davis and even himself, I mean, he's really helped the offense become great blockers. And I think you saw that last week as we're able to kind of, open up our run game. And I think I've really been able to develop well. I think the one thing that I do need to work on in my blocking game is just straining until the end. Sometimes like I'll see myself on film, like I feel like I have good leverage on my guy, like I'm blocking really well. But I think just one thing I need to work on is just keep straining, just keep straining.
Hudson, Blake was a walk-on, and like you said, he hadn't had a lot of chance to play until this year. How cool is it to see a walk-on who's really paid his dues, getting to do what Blake's doing and helping you guys out?
I'm really excited for him. Last year, I think he didn't get a scholarship till the end of the season. And I remember that day, walking in, he had a huge smile on his face. And I'd gotten to know him, since the summertime and got to play with him throughout the season. And so I was really happy for him whenever he got that scholarship because he's worked really hard for it. And he still is. I mean, it's not like he's got this scholarship and now he's just kind of doing his own thing. I mean, he's improved a lot and he's been grinding and he's been doing really good. And I've been really proud of him. He's come a long way.
If I could ask you about Traylon Burks, what do you thought of him, watching him and all those plays he's making for you guys?
He's probably one of the best players that I've ever seen on the field and been able to play with. He makes catches that like you see like once every 5 years. I mean, like sometimes in practice, I'm like, dude, like we were playing a game right now. Like he'd be having, 5 of the top 10 plays on ESPN. I mean, he's a great player. And I mean, like even more, I mean, he's a great guy and he's a great leader. And, I'm so glad that he's, chose to be at Arkansas and chose to be with us. I mean, because he is a phenomenal player and he's definitely going to play in the league one day.
I got one more, Jacob, if that's okay. You obviously have made this quantum leap from the start of the season now to midway through the season. What do you think you can do the second half of the season? Kind of what are your goals and hopes for the, how you can keep expanding your game?
That's a good question. I think mainly team wise, we want to win out. We want to win every other game. I mean, win every single game that we play next. I want to keep opening up the run game. I mean, I want to have a game where we have 400 yards rushing. And I think, the tight ends have a big part of that. And so that's one thing that I also want to improve on is, man, like I just want to open up the run game for Rakeem and for Traylon Smith and for all those guys. I think in the passing game, I think more like I want to be able to get more balls so then I can open up Traylon and open up, Mike Woods and Trey Knox and all those guys. I mean, not like, like selfishly wanting more balls, but I want to be able to open it up more for them, so they can, make more plays and so we can open up the field more.
I'm good. Thanks, though.
Good. In case anybody have any more for Hudson.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bob.
One more. Hudson, I mean, what you said last year you maybe weren't quite ready. Kind of, how'd you feel coming into this season? Did you feel like I got to prove myself, or kind of what was your mindset coming into the season?
This past offseason, we worked our tails off. And I think with the training staff that they brought in and the strength staff that they brought in and, what we did in the offseason, I felt really confident in our team. And, I got bigger and stronger and faster. And, obviously, Corona hit and we got, had to go home. So that was kind of a bummer. But I think coming back in the, summertime, I started lifting again. I was like, man, like nobody's changed. Like people have gotten better. And so that gave me confidence in my teammates and, gave me more confidence in myself. And I think coming into the season, through camp, playing and seeing our offense finally, seeing our defense, I was really confident in our team and really confident in myself. And I think going out there, first game, I think we were really confident. And that was something that we lacked last year. And it's something that we're just going to keep improving on, each and every game. Just confidence as a team.
Yeah, one more. I promise this is the last.
No, yeah, you're good.
Your thoughts on Felipe Franks and maybe how the chemistry you developed with him, and just what you thought of Felipe? Seems like he's having a pretty good year.
Yeah, man, he's such a good player, man. Just like Traylon Burks, he's an even better guy. You couldn't ask for a better team captain on the offense. Him and Rakeem have been doing a great job of leading us in practice and leading us in meetings. And man, I have so much confidence in him, man. And I would go, fight for that guy any day, because he's the kind of quarterback that would do the same for you. That's something that's been pretty cool this season to watch. He's been, and as you've seen too, he's been improving every single game. And I've been really excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Thanks. That's it.
Thank you.
Appreciate